Okay, let's go over this genuinely heartbreaking morning. All right, what time is this? We're on replay here, 9:15. I'll show you guys what I'm seeing here. So let's go to the 4-hour chart, see what happened. Boom, off rip, inverse, inverse, bearish, bearish, 60 minute, 1 hour, inverse, 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 bearish, off rip. What happens this morning as soon as market opens? Okay, yo, why does the replay actually suck? Genuinely terrible morning. Okay, so I'm like, okay, we'll use, well, this was sort of my condition right here was this gap. That was my condition. I was like, let's just see how it reacts off that. Boom, breaks through. I'm like, all right, shit, well, we fucked up. Let's go to the 5-minute here. Genuinely, what happens on the 5-minute here? We see this. I'm like, oh, what happened? Respect of this 5-minute gap here. Respect of this 5-minute gap here. Am I tripping? Okay. Respect of this 5-minute gap here. Oh, actually, no, it disrespected it. So I was like, fuck, maybe we sold. So I go here. I'm like, what is ES looking like? Boom, ES comes out, sweeps the highs. I'm like, all right, well, that's good because that swept that high where we made a SMT here on NASDAQ. So I'm like, cool, let's just see what happens here. I go on the 1-minute. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm like, all right, there's really no price action right here. Like from this point on, this is like going into the close of that 4-hour. I'm like, there's really no movement here, so I'm just gonna stay patient, see what type of time we're on. Okay, it's dumping even more. I'm like, all right, let's wait for a retrace here into this 5-minute gap that just got formed. All right, let's wait for a retrace here into this 5-minute gap that got formed. Boom, gap gets formed. I'm heavily bearish here. I'm heavily bearish. I'm like, let's just see how price plays out. Okay, we can just sweep. I'm like, we'll just sweep that, and then we'll go and target these down here, right? I'm like, we'll just sweep that, and we'll go and target that down here. Let's get rid of this. And I'm like, we'll take it on NASDAQ, of course, obviously, because there's an SMT at the highs here, so even more confirmation. Taps in, and I'm like, okay, maybe it could do some damage here. Boom, rejects off that. I'm like, all right, maybe we're just not going to trade today. And then we end up ripping up, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Better entry for me, creates this gap up here. Better entry for Du Bois. And I'm like, we'll just wait for this to, inverse, and then we'll go in longs here. Boom, price gets up, inverses it. Right off that, I enter in. Oh, I cannot do that. All right, perfect. Boom. I'm like 68 point stop loss. I went in with 5 micros here. I'm like, perfect. I'll go break even right here because it's resting inside of a gap. This is quite honestly perfect. Inverse that. Let's go. We're golden. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I'm like, ah, shoot. Okay. 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 Boom. Break even right here. I'm like, perfect. Break even, and we're soaring down. No shot we don't take this out, right? No shot we don't take it out. Boom. We get even further down. I'm like, perfect. What the hell was this? What the actual hell was this? I'm like, there is nothing in the way. No 15-minute that is bouncing off of. No 5-minute that is bouncing off of. I didn't even check the lower time frames because it's just, I don't care about those. So let's go to the 1. I'm like, all right, break even at this point. I'm like, okay, hopefully it just goes up. I can feel better about myself as a good break even point. Let's just get out of replay mode and just show this, bro. Absolutely comes down, demolishes my take profit. Like, what even happened here? What even happened at 10:38 to make this just skyrocket? Like, actually, it's actually heartbreaking because instead of this being like a $2,000 day, it's looking like it's looking like we lost 14 bucks per account. And it's like there's no SMT, there was nothing. for us to even think. But now that I'm looking at this, if we get a SMT here, like, you know, who would I be to not do it, you know? Now that we want to play these games. So there's so many draws to the downside still. And it's like if we look on the higher time frame, like let's just look on this the 1 hour, like we had just made a retracement into this gap here. Or I think it was on the 4 hour. Yeah, we had just made a retracement into this gap here. And we respected it. So I'm like, boom, easy money. Easy money. And now it's just gonna go and take out all my draws on liquidity. I literally went like this. So I went break even. At this point, I was gonna take about 3 micro contracts at this point and just let it run over to this. And of course, it plays out exactly how I wanted it to play out. Besides this happening, like this little freaking stupid wick. Like what? What? Are you joking? Just go ahead and take it, bro. So yeah, um, down about, I mean, down $112 on the day because we went break even, and then you have to account for the fees and all that. So heartbreaking freaking day. I'm not even gonna lie, heartbreaking. This totally was the easiest secure of my life, and it just happened to go break even. So there's nothing I could really do about that. Literally nothing I could do about that. I don't know. This probably happened to multiple people. I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised unless they were all just going for this down here and then they went break even here. I genuinely have no idea. Genuinely, I have no idea. It was a little bit too early, maybe. But damn, bro. Yeah, it is what it is. I'll journal it and we'll keep it pushing. I'll see you guys tomorrow.